welcome to my channel. My name's Dawn, I'm the Reclusive Crafter, and today is Quickfire Friday. So I've got everything lined up ready. I am doing a little insert into the journal. It's going to be an envelope insert. To save a little bit of time, I have already inked around the edges, and I've done a little bit of decoration on the inside where the flap will be. So that'll have a little bit of design there. And I'm just going to get started. So a nice quick one today. I have checked my time today, just for novelty's sake. I did not check my glue, and just need to unblock that. It's playing up a little bit at the moment. I think I've just realised that doesn't want to be on there. It wants to be down here. So we're into Friday. How is everybody? I am recording this a couple of days in advance, so I haven't actually got to Friday yet, but I hope your week's going well, or has gone well. Big hello to all of my new and existing subscribers. Lovely to have you back again if you're watching. And if you are watching and you haven't subscribed, it would be lovely to have you too. Okay, so that's the envelope glued together. Okay, very simple. Not a lot of rocket science in it. I don't know why, but that's not printed very well down there. So I'm just going to ink that over just to hide that. We love a bit of ink. And then on the actual pocket, what I've decided to do is I want to put in a little sort of tuck spot there. So I will ink around the edge of that. I've not had a very busy week this week. I took my other half to a hospital appointment yesterday. That wasn't very eventful, which is good. It was just an eye check. He's a type 1 diabetic, and he has to have regular checks on his eyes to make sure there's nothing untoward going on there, and all was, I believe, as it should be, which is nice. And we're going to pop that on there. Yeah, that's lovely. And then I was going to use that as a little insert, but I actually would like, I'm just going to trim that off a little bit, because I don't really want those white edges. And then I'm going to use this as a little insert. This is actually one of Amanda's I'm trying to think where this one came from. I know it is definitely one of Amanda's. I can't remember if it was on one of her weekly challenges or not. It may well have been. But I know it's definitely her design. I do try, when I'm doing design team projects, which obviously is what this journal is, I do try and stick to what's actually part of Amanda's stuff as much as I can. I do stray from the area just slightly occasionally when I think I've got something that will marry up really nicely. But I do try as much as possible to stay within what Amanda has in her collection. And to be honest with you, there is so much that she offers on her Ko-fi pages that you are bound to find something. But as with all crafters, you know, we tend to collect stuff, and we have stuff sitting in our collections, and it's also nice to be able to make use of that. And I think the beauty of what Amanda produces as well is it does lend itself to being able to incorporate other stuff too, which I always think is nice. So I'm very quickly popping a little bit of ink around these bits. These are just going to be little tuck-ins, just to add a little bit of interest and dimension. I want to just take those little corners off like I normally do, and then throw a little bit of ink, whoops daisy, throw a little bit of ink around there. As you can see, there's just that little white edge in there, so the ink will just take that away, save me having to trim that off. And then going to take that around the edges. This has been printed on the back with a very, don't know if you can see, it's very pale print, but it just adds a little bit of interest. That is one of Amanda's, I think that's on her neutral tones, possibly. I've used quite a number of her different elements in this journal, and I'm losing track, but if you go on her Ko-fi page, they're all there and you can make use of them. This one, I don't know if any of you remember, this one was part of it was out of a book, it was cut out, and I did some inking with some resin inks, and produced a number of these little things, and I just thought this looked quite nice in there too. So that's out of my own stash, and I did that one myself. So what are we doing? I want to put that in there. I want to put that one, in fact I think I will pop that one behind, maybe that one in there. That's nice. That one in there, just bring that up slightly so that you can see it, and that one down there, and I'm going to pop that one on there. In actual fact, I think I did want these on here. I'm not sure, they just stick out a little bit too far actually. I'm going to pop that on there. I like that there. These are on quite sturdy card. These are on 200 GSM cardstock. Apologies to those outside the UK. I don't know what that equates to in other people's money. There we go. Do I want that there as well? Yeah, I'm going to just take those corners off. Just re-ink the corners. And I want to pop that in there, I think. Just pop that there again, just to add another little dimension. That's good. That looks nice. And now I can pop these little bits in. So I want that one up there. And we'll pop the little letters in there. I want to say Diary of a Lady that came from. And I think I'm right in saying that. Diary of a Lady, that one came from. Those were just my offcuts from when I did that journal. And then my little man can go in there, and I have used up another one of those print offs that I did. So that's now fully loaded, which is lovely. I am going to pop a little something on the back there. Let me get that tissue out of the way. I thought I would put a little clock, because there's a clock here, and I'm going to pop a little clock on the back. And this one, there we go. I thought I'd pop that on there, and I'm going to pop that in there like so. Nice. Okay. I'm just gluing these down. They're not going to be tucks. I think if they're tucks, I think they might be a bit of an issue with actually just staying in. So I'm just sticking these down. So that one wants to go about there, and I'm hoping, yeah, I've done that about right. Good. And that's that one. Pop that down there. Love that. That looks really pretty. That's nice, isn't it? And then for the inside, I pulled out some of Amanda's ledger pages, which I think are lovely. These are lovely for just journaling on, but on the back then you've got a lot of interest on here with all different pieces on there. So I'm just going to trim that up, and then that's just going to be folded up and popped into the little envelope, which will be lovely. It just gives another added little journal space. So although I have used up quite a bit of journaling space in this journal actually for little pockets and things that I've done, I am adding journal space back in by doing this type of thing. So we're not losing everything entirely. So that's that one. And then I'm going to just tri-fold this so that it fits into the envelope, which that will do very nicely. And then this will lend itself to giving plenty more journal space. Now that will sit very nicely in there. Well, it would do if I hadn't have glued that shut. Let me just ease that open. Come on. There we go. And we're going to pop that in there and pop that down there. And then the final little bit, and I've only just thought about doing this, so bear with me while I find some paper. I'm hoping I've got a piece. Apologies, I wasn't planned for this. Will that fit? No, it will not. Typical, isn't it? I've got thousands of bits of paper lying around, and when I want a piece, that'll do. That'll do the job very nicely indeed. I'm just going to put a little band round it. So, okay, I want it about an inch, I reckon. So about there will be very nice. Thank you very much. Lovely jubbly. And then just to hold this all in place, I'm just going to pop a little band around it. And we're going to come up there. I don't want to make it too tight because obviously it needs to slide on and off. So I'm going to cut that about there. That's nice. There we go. Pop that there. Going to pop a little bit of glue on there. Like so. Hopefully. There we go. I want to make sure it doesn't stick down. And then to tidy that up a little bit, a little clock on the back I think would look lovely, don't you? That's what we're doing. Pop a little clock on the back, and I think that finishes it off beautifully. Oh, or do we want a little butterfly perhaps? No, I'm going to stick to the clock, and the reason I'm going to stick to the clock is because we've got a clock in there, we've got a clock on the back there, and I'm going to pop a little clock on there. And I think what I might do also, I might find a little butterfly and just pop a little butterfly on there too, maybe. Pop that on there. Pop that on there. Just pop a little bit more glue down there. Didn't come down quite far enough. There. Love it. That's that one done. So, there we go. Quickfire Friday. We've got a beautiful little envelope. In actual fact, I might even turn that round actually. Let me just slide that off of there. Slide it back in again on there if I can get it in. That can go there. Oh look, that looks lovely. I love it. There we go. So Quickfire Friday, we've got a beautiful little envelope. We've got a little slide closure. We've got lots and lots of little tuck-ins. We've got a beautiful picture of the lady there with a little bit going on here. And then we open it up and we've got all that journaling space in there with a double fold of paper there, which is just divine, isn't it? That's it, guys. That's what we've got time for today. So have a lovely day. I will see you all again tomorrow for Stash Busting Saturday. Haven't made my mind up yet what we're doing for that, so who knows what we're going to get. And thank you very much for joining me today. There we go. I'll just finish popping that together and I will let you all go. She says, fiddlier than you think. There we go. Perfect. That's it. Thank you very much for your time, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye.